Hey, frequent flyers and casual deal makers around the globe. I'm Tommy Danielsen, and I am here today on November 3rd. Wow, we got November there, Marshall. How you doing from the nation's capital?
Oh, we're cruising to Christmas. It's going to be New Year's before we know it.
Did you have a lot of trick-or-treaters?
We gave away 1,000 pieces of candy.
Holy smokes. Wow. Well, I was there last year. We were sitting on the lawn having some adult beverages. There were some serious amount of people on your block there.
Halloween here it's a little on the wild side.
And here I am in suburbia, California. And I know that I should probably have taken that blanket that's hanging behind me on the banister away before we went live. But I digress. Looking out the window, we had 38 trick-or-treaters at our door here in where I live in Northern California, the sleepiest suburb. So if a bike gets stolen around here, it makes the paper. So
like my kind of place.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a little bit more sporty around where you are, but I hear that it's getting better.
Yeah, rumor has it.
But here's the thing, though. You can walk to probably 15, 20 great restaurants within 10 minutes. And the closest restaurant that I have is 20 minutes walk from here, and that's a Taco Bell.
Well, you're right about that. I can get to one Michelin star on foot, one that should be a Michelin star on another that should be a Michelin star on foot. But, you know.
All right, we've got some things to talk about. It is interesting times in aviation these days. It's still running, albeit a little bit slower these days here in the United States. But we have some interesting news about Southwest we want to share with first. And I did not see this one coming.
I did not expect. I'd heard rumors about a lounge for Southwest. I don't know that I expected it to be where it's going to be.
Yeah, a lounge, 12th. It's Southwest Airlines has signed a lease for 12,000 square feet lounge in Honolulu of all places. I don't even know what to say. Well, how is that? What's the play here, and what are we thinking?
Well, you know, I suppose Southwest does things differently. They've always done things their own way. So we'll see how this goes. I did not anticipate the I guess number one leisure market or whatever for frequent flyerdom to be the host of the first lounge. I would more have expected that to be in the Dallas area or one of the other hubs. Even though I know theoretically Southwest doesn't hub, but let's be serious. Dow, BWI, Denver, those are hubs.
Right.
That's where I would have expected something.
Yeah, at home base or anywhere that they are, popular and where they have decent market share. I mean, are they really making money on their Hawaii operation?
I haven't seen the numbers. It's only anecdotal, but rumor has it it's not all that profitable.
Right. So apparently they are opening up, and it's in this kind of the central area, like kind of right across from where the from Terminal 2 there is where it is. So like you have kind of more of the central area. There are some international lounges in there. Yeah, it's where, Japan Airlines have their lounge up there. Oh, here we go. American Airlines, Japan Airlines, Korean Qantas, IS, I know what that, and then also the Ko'olina thing is going on over there. I mean, the Hawaiian lounge scene isn't really the most spectacular one there is. I mean, I have access to Hawaiian's lounges when we're in Hawaii. I mean, they do priority pass, and you can also, when you fly first on Hawaiian, you can from the island and to the mainland, you can use their lounges, and it's pretty boring. It's a soda machine, and it's like there are pretzels and something sweet and something. It's like pretty much Southwest onboard service, right? Yeah. And that's all you get. So, and there's that. What's the name of that? Super sugary drink that they have, Pog. They also have that. That's pretty much all you get served, and coffee. That's all of the lounges has. So we'll see what and a lot of comments on Gary reported this last week, and I just don't get it. That's pretty much what I'm saying. But I guess they are trying to be like a mainstream, legacy airline.
Their new investors have been leading them in a different direction with increasing revenue with bag fees and upgrade opportunities or upgrade sale opportunities into more leg room seats. So I guess this is another way to push that idea. I didn't expect it in Honolulu.
No, I didn't expect it either. I mean, at the end of the day, it's any sort of improvement, but it's not that long. And at the end of January, you're going to have to pay. It's going to be seating, and you're going to have to pay for where you need to sit. We've talked multiple times on how you get around that, but with their credit cards and stuff. But at the end of the day, the old Southwest is kind of gone.
Yes,
all right. We're going to move over to the Middle East and talk a little bit about some lofty goals and all sorts of fun things in regards to that. We talked about this like maybe a year ago, I think.
Been a minute, but I remember talking about it.
Yeah. This is the NEOM, the line. And NEOM, the line is... the Saudis are going to build $2 trillion worth of stuff or crazy construction projects. And the line is kind of like the first of it. They built the Sindala Island, which was supposed to open in November of last year. And they had a soft opening, but the dude, one of the gentlemen doesn't have to wear a suit to work. It was very unhappy with what was going on over there. So he shut it down. So there's supposed to be a couple of Marriotts or I think an autograph collection and a luxury collection and also a Four Seasons and some other stuff on that island. And it has been dead quiet. They're not communicating what's happening on that island, but it's a luxury island with all sorts of yachts and things like that. And there were some Instagram pictures, but they haven't posted in almost a year. Now we're hearing more of what's happening with the line, and the line is as you can see, they've started putting concrete down, the foundation, and it's a lot of sand that they're moving.
that is quite a bit of sand to move, no doubt.
And here's the village where all the workers live.
Looks like an AI data center.
Yeah, except it's foreign workers coming into work. There's the port that they're building. Looks, expensive.
Interesting looking, no doubt about that.
Yeah, I think that what the story is now, how they're going to be doing it now, is that they are making a small version of it. And the small version of it is this video here on Instagram. I can't play it here. It doesn't let me do it. But what they're pretty much are going to be doing is that they're building a small piece of it first. And it's about 3 miles long, which is, substantial. And it's where the port. Yeah, so it's where the port is, where you can drive a cruise ship through this whole building, and they're building a stadium for the soccer world championship on top of that building. So that's kind of the first piece of it. There hasn't been any. The airport is open, NEOM Airport. If you Google it, you can see that it's open. It's you can see that the only thing that's parked outside there are BBJs. Not for you and me in this lifetime, unless we go and buy one of them their lottery tickets.
We got to get the big one for that.
Yeah, for a BBJ, absolutely. So a lot of things going on, but they've scaled back, and it'll be interesting to see what's going on. But if you go to Fred Mills, the account here on Instagram, you will be able to see the videos of what they're doing. It's how they're building the first piece of it. And there'll be a big harbor for cruise ships. Down the road also, there will be a huge hydrogen plant where ships that go through the Suez Canal can fill up their hydrogen tanks, like a very futuristic part. But we'll see what happens. The reason why is obviously oil is a little bit cheaper now than it used to be. So meaning that the way that they're paying for this is obviously with the country's oil income.
Like I tell people, you can't mess with a lot of money. And, I guess I got a little less now.
Well, it reminds me of the conversation I had with the boss at Etihad back in the day. And I was there 2015, 2016, when I was working with Randy. I was down there meeting with them, and I was meeting with Barry Green, who's a dear friend of mine who's retired. He used to run their loyalty program. And when we were there, the boss of the whole thing, the CEO, showed up, and he also had the same uniform as the guy who got pissed off here. So he came in the room, and everybody stood up, and he came in, and he was looking for Randy. He wasn't looking for me, because, I'm a nobody. And I was said, Randy kind of doesn't travel that much anymore, and I'm kind of helping him out with that. And he came in, and I was like, if you want to ask me any question, what do you want to ask me? And I said, why'd you buy Air Berlin? Because it's, was at the brink of,
Yeah.
Alitalia and Air Berlin. It's like, that's
synonymous.
Yeah, I would probably, buy the biggest cat pole in the world before I did that. But anyway, made of gold. And he said, Tommy, I want you to show you something. Look at the window here. You see over there in the desert, in the distance? I said, yeah. Over there is where we pump our oil. Tomorrow, by the time you wake up in your hotel room and have breakfast, we will have made back the money that we invested in Alitalia and in Air Berlin. And I was, thank you for the answer. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. So that was a good answer to that. Yeah, no kidding. Giddy up, cowboy, is probably the only thing I could have said. All right. Last week we had a big hit on our channel. Sometimes videos go viral. I mean, that's probably what the kids mean that when millions of people saw it. But we had 13,000 people who saw our video about Rove Miles. You heard about this thing?
I have not until very recently, when I think Gary had posted about it.
Right. So this morning, so Rove is a crazy good return of investment. And a lot of people are saying, specifically, I looked online today, there's a lot of people who are talking, how can they afford this? It's a hotel program, and I had a window open, but as usual, when I also shut it down here. But you can do, you're literally earning to book hotels. You go in and you can earn up to 61x. Like, for example, here is obviously you got to spend $10,000, but for example, here you have the Westin New Jersey City. You spend $1,423 and you earn 66,824 Rove miles. So how can they do this? Well, there are some of these hotels that you're seeing. The Westin there, that must be some sort of a mistake, because usually that's not usually what you're seeing here. What you usually are seeing are third-party hotels that don't spend, instead of spending their money being affiliated with a big global chain, they will use that money and pay third-party companies to sell the rooms for them. And those commissions can be massive. They can be 30, 40, 50%. Depending on time of year and stuff like that. So that's how they're paying. Obviously here you can see that this particular hotel is paying you out, for 10,000. If you spend $10,000, you get 660,000 miles. Obviously, one night at for 194 square feet is obviously, a little bit north of what I would pay for a hotel room in London. But it's funny that you can see that you earn, to spend the 10,000, you earn 660,000 points, which is, an obscene amount of points. And then to redeem, it's 35,000. Not a good comparison right there. But if we look at a other type of hotel, if we, for example, look at the something here, this is obviously in Paris. Mm-hmm. A non-chain hotel that's using Rove to sell rooms for them. So you spend $472 and you get 21,000 points. And what can you use these points for? Well, you can use them for example, transferring miles over to various programs. As you can see here, they have Finnair Plus they have Avios as their currency. So if you transfer 1,000, you get 1,200. The news today is that Miles and More, who has not had a transfer partner in a long time, is you can transfer over to them. Now, why is this important? What are the sweet spots here? Well, obviously, you transfer over to Delta, it's going to give you, you're looking, for example, here, the Maharaja Club, which is Air India's loyalty program. They're a member of Star Alliance. And we were looking at this particular hotel here, not this one, the one that's more realistic, 472 for 21,000 miles. What does that give you? Well, it gives you Maharaja Club charges for short haul flights. So from you who live in DC to fly up to New York, or for me who live in Sacramento to take a flight down to LA, it's 3,500 Star Alliance miles to fly on United if it's available. So obviously it's a brilliant redemption. And if you look in here, that's saying that you've got, for $472, you get 21,000 miles. That means that you can fly back and forth, 3-4 times between 3 and 4 times before you use up those miles, right? So it's good value, meaning that United miles, it costs a lot more than that. I think it's minimum 7,500 or 6,000, 7,500, right? So it's much cheaper. And as you can see, the transfer partner Miles and More has also business class to Europe is lower than what you pay for others, right? And they've got, from today, that's the brand new, that was dropped this morning. I was and looking also, you've got some Chinese airlines, you've got Etihad, so you can do Etihad, what is it called, the apartments. You can do Accor, which is not the best gig here, but if 2,000, so it's 3,000 miles to get $40. The way that Accor's loyalty program works is that for every 2,000 Accor points you have, you get 40 euros back, or meaning that they just take it off the bill. So there's no redemption in the same way that that we are doing redemptions, right? So they got Flying Blue, and they've got some transfer partners that are not here. Are they going to survive? Well, they got some VC money right now. They're paying some big returns though, so we'll have to see. It is obvious. It's obviously, we're talking about some big numbers here, right? And
they're going to run through that VC cash pretty quick. But we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah, I think that as long as they stick to third-party hotels, and that, you can also book with directly. They do give miles and for some of the loyalty bookings, but that's 5x, right? So that means that you can book with them. And they just last week on the 1st, they gave us the news that they're now doing refundable rates or non-prepaid rates. So you can do that too. And the rates are comparable to hotels.com and booking.com and those guys. So you can book a Marriott, you can book a Hyatt, you can book a Hilton, and you can get 5x for that. So you double dip. You get your Bonvoy points and all the other stuff. You put your Hilton number or Bonvoy number or whatever in there, and then so you double dip. You get your benefits, you get your free breakfast or whatever status levels you have, and then in addition you earn Rove Miles. But there are some other when you get 61x. I mean, why should I care about? Why would I care about getting? Why would I care about getting? Bonvoy points when I can get 61x.
No doubt. This is something I'm going to have to look into a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. Is it feasible? I think not at the level we're seeing here, but if they adjust it downward a little bit, I think it is. And especially since they're doing the right things by making so many good deals with people. Sure. I think that it's too rich right now, and it will be too rich. And but the volume that they're getting here is obviously crazy right now. Yeah. So people should do it, I think. And if you can just transfer over the miles, they post instantly if it's prepaid, and that's the gig. All right. This is kind of a sombering. It's not a sad moment because it's been a long time, but our dear friend Matt Daimler, who was, how old was he when he started SeatGuru? Wow. He was probably in his early 20s.
Yeah, I don't.
And
Yeah.
remember him starting up SeatGuru, him and his wife living in a loft in Manhattan. And he sold it to TripAdvisor in 2008 after running it just for a couple of years. He got like $3 million for it or something.
Good for him.
Bought a Ferrari and a nice apartment and some things like that. And he moved onwards in life to start a real estate app and site that he sold to Zillow in 2015 for $51 million. So he started this site as a frequent flyer, as a flyer talker, and all that kind of stuff. Created a site where you could look at the various maps on a plane where you should sit and stuff like that in one place. So a good idea back in the day, but obviously things have progressed since that. And TripAdvisor bought it. They didn't see the value in it, and they made a lot of acquisitions, so they just let the sites die. Now it is dead. And I would say the Aerolopa is that is referred to here in Gary's article is where you should go So that's an era, end of an era.
Yep, no doubt.
All right, and we're going to talk a little bit about Alaska. A lot of things going on with them, isn't it?
They really are walking away from well, I shouldn't say walking away, but really lowering their footprint in San Francisco and LA and expanding in San Diego and Portland.
Right. Yeah, it seems like the old Virgin Atlantic routes Virgin America routes are. Yeah, Virgin America is kind of being they're cutting most of them. So the transcontinental, it's not really that competitive from SFO, and so they're cutting back, as you said, on the West Coast market, leaving it open. So this has substantially lowered the competition, and we can expect some higher prices that specifically at SFO for sure.
Sure.
And lots of feelings last week, a lot of crying pilots and flight attendants, and beautiful moments. We've got to see all of them with Hawaiian retiring their call sign last week.
Moving on to the single operating certificate, single FA operating certificate. So now everything's on all the call signs are Alaska, even though some of the airplanes will still be wearing Hawaiian paint.
So the Seattle company and the Honolulu company are calling it Alaska. Yeah, I mean, it's a long history of 95 years, and the last flight was an Airbus 330. 330 that landed from Pago Pago in Honolulu at 5:39 a.m. And that was the last. And there was some good dancing on the tarmac, and practicality. They're still going to have Hawaiian stuff on the planes, right?
Yep. The Hawaiian brand will live on. We'll see how long that lasts, but I guess for at least for the medium term, that's the plan, right? Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And, we'll see how it goes. Although I saw, we didn't talk about it beforehand, but I know back a few weeks or months ago, the wide bodies are going to have a slightly different Alaska livery, if you will.
Right. Yeah, it's different. They're getting rid of the Eskimo. I guess the trade-off was that the lady from the Hawaiian lady, what's her name again?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I read about it last week, but they are getting rid of the Hawaiian lady that the Pualani tails while the fleet integration continues. So the Hawaiian dude, also the Eskimo, he's also being moved away from the tails, and they've got some sort of a Northern Light type of situation going on there.
Doesn't look bad, actually.
No, I agree. I think it looks pretty good. But history is history, and we lived past it. So meaning that we were that little snippet of time that you and I are here on this planet, we got to live through that. So that's cool. I'm glad. Hawaiian is a good airline with phenomenal service, and much better than Alaska, I think. And obviously, doing on-time performance is not that hard.
Well, when the weather's great, almost every day, that works.
Exactly, except for that JFK flight in January. All right, moving on to a little bit of rail. It's been Brightline is having a couple of bumps in the road right now. So for those who don't know, Brightline has operated how many years now? Like 6, 7 maybe?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Something like that. So 2017, 2018. They started operating from Miami up to West Palm Beach, I think.
Yeah.
And then they built their own infrastructure from there. So they have right away they own the infrastructure between, north. I don't know exactly where they turn into their own infrastructure between the coast and Tampa Airport.
Right.
And that opened about a year and a half ago, I think.
Yep.
And it seems to be doing well. They've got a lot of passengers, and the revenue per passenger is up. And they're buying more train sets now to accommodate, because they couldn't accommodate commuters for a while, which obviously they want to try and do both,
sure.
Right? So they had some bonds and some debt that was due. They have won an extension for $985 million to continue their operations in Florida and to continue growing. And they're building now onwards from Tampa Airport from Orlando. My mistake. It's from Orlando, not Tampa. From Orlando Airport, where they terminate now. And the train goes, so it's a diesel electric. And how do we explain what that means? So it's a diesel generator that creates electricity and runs the trains,
Makes
right?
the wheels move, yeah.
So it's not the most environmentally friendly. It's better than Amtrak.
It's not your typical northeastern corridor fully electric train, or European anywhere fully electric train,
or San Francisco to San Jose, which is using the Stadler train, which means that it means lower speed, and it means you're not going to get the same speed as the Europeans or anywhere. So it tops out at 125 miles an hour, which they go full speed ahead for the first part of their between Orlando and the coast. They do, and they will also own the infrastructure from Orlando to Tampa when that's done. But they're struggling, and they're also struggling on the West Coast. On the West Coast, they're building true high-speed rail, and they were supposed to be done before the Olympics. When is that again? 2028.
What year is it now? 25 going into 26. Yeah, I think it's 28.
Right. So high-speed rail is expensive. They're now going to, they're going up from there. It appears that it's just come out information that the between Las Vegas and LA, or Lake Cucamonga, is now going to be $6 billion more expensive than what was projected. And in order for them to get started to build it, they need to prove the financing in advance, so they're not allowed to start building in Las Vegas. So U.S. officials said in June that Brightline West was on schedule and on budget. That is not the case anymore. And they are, this is obviously a huge step. It would be the first real high-speed rail in the United States with 180 miles an hour, topping out at 180 miles an hour, which is the Acela. Is that 160?
160-ish, yeah.
As you can see, it doesn't go all the way. There's also supposedly they're planning on doing a connection to California high-speed rail in between Victor Valley and Palmdale right here. That's the goal for the future. That's where the California high-speed rail will be coming down at a time in the future where both you and I are probably worm food. But yeah, so that's the story. We'll see if that holds through. I'm fingers crossed. I'm a huge fan of it and of high speed
I'm
rail.
most optimistic about getting this going because I got the right of way between the freeway out there, but it's going to cost money. I I
Yeah,
hope we Americans can pull ourselves together on that.
yeah, it's like why I don't understand why it should be political. Because I mean, if I had the opportunity, and I don't know if you agree with me, if we were in Las Vegas and we wanted to go to LA and we had the opportunity to get on board the train pretty much downtown and sit down at a table and have a couple of drinks instead of driving and getting there within an hour and 55 minutes to do so, that's literally it's like 2 hours, so it goes 200 miles, almost 200 miles an hour. I think I would do that rather than both flying or driving.
Complete no brainer. And even today, on going to New York from DC, which I do a couple times a year, I would never think about flying to New York.
Right. No, it's good, and they're supposed to have like party carriages. They're supposed to be fine dining and all other things that you can do for those 2 hours. I mean, it just makes a lot of sense. And I was just thinking where I live, if we, which obviously is never going to happen, but from here, from Sacramento into Roseville is the closest transit center to me. If it's the same distance from here to downtown San Francisco as it is from between Hamburg and Hanover. And that's done in 29 minutes. I used to do some work in that area, and it took me 29. I didn't want to stay in Hanover. I wanted to stay in Hamburg. I had some friends there, and I wanted to rack up some points at a hotel chain. So I stay there, and I would go there in the morning for 29 minutes. I would have my coffee. I would sit down and read the papers. This was back in the days where we had those newspapers and stuff. And I would read the paper, and I would drink a cup of coffee. I would get there, and that would be it. And then when I was done for the day, 29 minutes back, I would buy a beer. And in Germany, you don't have to put it even in a paper bag. You can just bring it. I would buy one of those big beers, and when it was time to have another beer, I had 5 minutes left until I was there. So it makes a lot of sense. And if that's the same way, so meaning that instead it takes between an hour and 45 minutes and 4 hours to drive to San Francisco.
Oh, sure.
So 29 minutes, I could leave here, my house at 5:20, drive and park the car, take the 5:30 train, and be in downtown Sacramento at 6, walk over to a sushi place, one of the best sushi places in the country, have some sushi for dinner, and be back here before bedtime. It's which is science fiction right now. Or I could live out here where prices are 1/3 of what they cost in San Francisco and work in there and still have a better quality of life. So... Yeah. All right. Speaking of, there's a lot of companies, transport company that leads in all the money today, isn't there?
Everybody needs funds.
So it's we talked about Alitalia and Air Berlin and Arabs and all sorts of other things. Now we've moved ourselves over to India, and Tata is a huge conglomerate in India, successful. They own Range Rover. They own a ton of big companies around the world, and a big technology company, well run, and probably the best run company in India. And they owned a carrier, for those who don't know, called Vistara, which was a new, clean, and great Indian carrier. And the guys who ran the loyalty program, super smart people, friends of ours. And they decided to bang on the big boy drums and to do what as one does and buy Air India, of all things, which they did. And so it's now owned by Tata, the same owner as Vistara. It's merged. Vistara doesn't exist anymore. They're now in Star Alliance, as Air India has been since the beginning. And I think 20-something% of Air India is owned by Singapore Airlines. Yeah. Anyway, so they rang a couple of bells. They need, after the crash in the summer, they need 1.14 billion US dollars in order to continue to clean up 100 billion rupees is needed from Singapore Airlines and Tata. And I think Singapore owns like 25% or something in that area, in order to get on track to continue rebranding the carrier and getting things done, which is a little bit of money.
But it's in airline parlance.
Yeah, well, compared to the COVID support that was received here of 80 billion, it's obviously a pocket change. But yeah, so it's interesting to see. Personally, Vistara was doing really well for themselves. I think that was a mistake, but yet here we are. It looks though our dear friend Ben Schlopik has been flying with Air India in the last week. Seems like he is. Flew on their Airbus 350, and maybe he was a little bit high on the champagne when he wrote this raving
that looks
review.
Comfortable to me, right there.
Yeah, I got like that. So it's an Airbus 350.
Well,
the seats they have like a little box, like you have your own little thing with doors and stuff like that, and it looks solid to me. And it looks like they're not making you jam your feet into a little cubby hole. That's, well, I guess you have a little bit of cubby holing happen, but right. But it looks like you have a cabinet on the left, and it looks also like there's significant distance between the seat and the cubby hole.
Yeah.
So, and this is a 350. He also did one of their newer 320 Neos, which has the more of a domestic U.S. style first class. I mean, that's the seat that American has, isn't it?
That is. Absolutely. I wish I could remember the brand. But
Collins Aerospace, MIQ product. Yeah. If you're flown American, So I guess we were right. That's it happens. The clock and Tommy and Marshall, twice a day, we're right.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
No footrest on American, though.
Yeah, look at that. Look at also how you got your thing going. Looks like a much better recline, and also you got your little feet. You can put your feet up a little bit there.
That's like a premium economy on a wide.
Yeah, looks like it. They lack good entertainment and Wi-Fi. Yeah, you've got some Indian movies, as one does. And super attentive, and he was very happy with the Air India experience. I would say that's pretty
not bad looking.
No kidding. That's what is that? Is it a glass of milk or condensed milk?
Definitely.
By the way, the pre-departure drink on this sector was quite the acquired taste. It wasn't champagne this time around, but instead sugar cane or buttermilk juice.
It's got to be buttermilk juice, I guess.
The hell is buttermilk juice?
I've had buttermilk, but I've never had buttermilk juice.
Yeah, it looks like he is raving about it, and it also looked like he was at the Kuala Lumpur Park Hyatt, and he was happy about that as well.
Well, why not?
I think that it's well, I mean, there are some shady Park Hyatts in the world also, but I like it when bloggers have positive things to say. It's not something you see every day.
No doubt.
And that's all the news I could find today out in the world of Miles and Points.
Well, you've inspired me to check out Rove Miles.
I suggest that you do. I'm going to try them out and see some sort of. I got some third party things coming up towards the end of the month, and I'm going to see if there's any value there. I'm going to have Melinda see if there's any value there. Besides that, if you are on YouTube right now, check out the review that I put out today, November 3rd, for the Marquis Faubourg Saint Honoré at Paris. It is a small luxury hotel, so you can use your Hilton Honors points. Do you have any Hilton Honors points?
Very few left.
Right. So this is a small luxury hotel in Paris. It had 15 rooms or 15 suites only, the whole hotel. It was owned by, it used to be somebody's house, like one of those guys with the wigs and the fancy knickerbockers. Or that's what I'm imagining, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like on the St. Honoré Street, which is very close. It's like a block and a half away from Macron's house. And if you
Yeah,
continue down that road, you
I'm
get
looking
to,
at it now. Wow.
yeah, it was one of those credit card nights I used there to stay. And you come into the lobby, and the lobby is like somebody's living room. And so obviously
That's
nobody
how
comes
it
there because
looks.
it's like 15 rooms, right? So, or 15
Yeah.
suites. And there's an honor bar. They got 18-year-old scotch. They got good quality gin and whatever. And you can mix how the hell ever you want. You know, milk glass with that scotch would probably be frowned upon. But you can, I mean, technically there was nobody there, but you have an honor bar with high quality hooch there. And it was 18 euros. And you just sign the thing and you put it in a little box there that you've taken a drink. That's how it worked at that hotel.
Love it.
And we're on the top floor, gorgeous room. It was amazing. And the way that the breakfast works is that you could either have it delivered to your room, and the menu is whatever you want. You want a Denver omelet, they'll make you a Denver omelet. If you want to get a I don't know if you can have a bologna sandwich, or probably a mortadella sandwich, they'll make you that. And they will bring it to you in the room, or you got to call them and say, hey, we want to eat in the dining room because it's only 15 rooms. And then they will prepare it for the time that you're ready, and they will meet you there and serve you. It was great. It was a great hotel. They had, I recommend looking at the first 5 minutes of that video. You'll see what I'm talking about.
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, it was a very enjoyable
I need
stay.
to stay here just looking at it online.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was pretty quiet, and it was, you know, heated floors in the bathroom, right? S1 have, which is pretty common in Europe, but you know, here it's not. All right, I think that will do it for today. Thank you, Marshall, for joining.
Hey, thanks for having me, Tommy. It was good to chat, catch up.
You too.
And, talk about.
And if you get a little bored, maybe I'll send you one of those. I have is it 10,000 piece puzzle downstairs or something like that? Oof. If you want, I can FedEx that over to you.
We'll see. We'll give it a week and see what happens.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining. We'll see you next week.
Bye now.
Giddy up.